Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Chill Conversations. Apologies in advance for the voice. Having a little bit of a health issue. Came down with a really bad situation. It affected my voice, so we're gonna try to get through it as best we can. And Dominique has promised to help me out. So if you can't understand me, just post it in the comments and we'll read it.
Absolutely. We're going to try to do this today. Welcome back, everyone, to Real Chill Conversations. And yes, we have Brenna that has been under the weather. So we're going to try to do this today and kind of move it along for her and help her out here. Um, so, that's where we at now. And hopefully you get to feeling better.
I hope so. I keep waiting for this medicine to kick in, and they just say, oh, just give it a couple of days. Just give it a couple of days. But I give it a couple of days. I rest my voice. I try not to talk, and this is what I sound like. So, if y'all can understand me and see it on the post, tonight's topic that we're discussing is the question of have you ever fallen out with a friend? And excuse me, I asked this question because I've had this experience, not just one time, but unfortunately, a couple of times. And each time has been different. I've learned something from each of the scenarios and the situations. And I just kind of wanted to discuss it and just see how you guys feel about situations. And at the end of the day, what does it really mean? I mean, friends have disagreements. They might not have the same opinions. They might not have the same thoughts about certain things. But that doesn't mean that that has to impact the friendship or that you guys have to stop being friends. It just means that you have differences. And I think that you should be able to accept and respect those differences without it causing an impact to your friendship. What do you think about that, Dominique? We've lost Dominique. Okay, gotta add Dominique back.
I'm so sorry, you all. I was kicked out before I even could say anything.
I was talking. I did my whole spiel about how I wanted to talk about this topic that I've had a friendship fallout, not once, but twice, but a couple of times. And then I was like, what do you think about that? I thought friendships, you can have disagreements and differences of opinions, but that shouldn't necessarily end the friendship. And then I was like, what do you think about that, Dominique? But you were gone, so.
Okay, that's a good question. Well, I came right back on time. So, yes, I mean, as friends, I think you should have disagreements. I mean, you're not always going to be on the same page with people. Period. But yes, it is something that you all should be able to work out and come back to. Like, I had a situation where I had a friend that she actually fell out with one of her very close friends. And, um, like, they haven't talked for months. And I was just, wondering. And I was like, wow, like, you can really, a friendship for so long, can you go months, almost to a year of not speaking to that person? I mean, that's just, and I've been in that situation. I have been in that situation, and recently I was in that situation. I had someone who I've been friends with for a very, very long time. And um, yeah, it's just, you know, something happened where I didn't disagree with something that was done. And instead of coming back to apologize, and try to make things right. She just preferred to let the friendship go. And to me, those are just never your friends.
Perfectly said. I would say that, I would absolutely agree with that. Um, my most recent situation, and it just happened, it's literally been just the last couple of months that this has been kind of going on. This is someone that I've known for many, 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 many years. Was there when all of her kids were born, have celebrated kids' birthdays with her birthdays with her. We've had girls' nights, done things together, as friends, lean on each other for advice, was very supportive when she was going through relationship situations and ultimately a divorce. She got into a new relationship. I was very supportive of that, and I was glad to see that she was happy and all of that. And um, a mutual friend of ours, I had seen that person, and that person asked me, was like, "Oh, did you see so and so?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "How did she look?" And I, explained, "Oh, she looked like she was happy, smiling, like she had like a glow about to her." Um, and the friend kind of like made a face and was like, "But how did she look?" And then like I reflected back on it and I was like, oh,
What did they
she's
mean by that?
she has something. She's got something going on. She's got news. She's got news. So it turns out that she was expecting, and so I congratulated her and told her, that I was very happy for her and all of that. And she didn't respond to the message that I sent her. And so I was like, okay, like I'll give it time, I'll let it rest. But mind you, like every time that she was pregnant, the minute that she found out that she peed on the stick, she would call me and tell me that that was the situation that was happening. So I was like, okay, like I'll give her time, whatever, give her space, whatnot, and
Right.
whatnot. And so I did that. And then, like, it was like 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks, and I don't know, maybe 3 weeks might have gone by. And like, I called her and was like, hey, I was like, I was like, I hope I didn't, offend you like in any way. I'm really sincerely happy for you. Like, you look great and all of that. Like, I'm just, I'm happy that you're happy and things are moving in a direction in which you're satisfied with. No response. So then the next day she drops a video on Instagram, which is an announcement, expecting a baby in 2025. So I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations. I was like, I knew it. I was like, I'm so happy for you guys and da 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 da, this, that, whatever, whatever. And still no response, nothing. So then, like a couple of days later, she like texts me and she was like, I wasn't even going to respond to this message, but I just felt that I needed to address it. And I was like, what's going on? I don't understand. And she's like, I don't appreciate the way that you were fishing for information. And I was like, I wasn't fishing for anything. I was just someone asked me if I saw you and like how you looked, and I described how you looked. I was like, and then it kind of clicked. I was like, 'cause you have to remember, I've seen you pregnant in all stages of your pregnancy. I know what you look like. And I was like, oh, she has that look. And she was like, oh. So that was kind of like it. And I was just like, all right, this, conversation is like it's not a healthy conversation and we're not making any progress. So let's just revisit this later or whatever. And so, I left her a message and was like, again, look, I really did not mean to offend you. And if I did, I sincerely, sincerely apologize. Heard nothing from her. Nothing like that. And so it just continued to go on with like this radio silence, radio silence, radio silence. And she had a birthday party that was coming up at the end of August. And I was like, I don't know if I should go or not because I don't know if that's gonna set her off, if that's gonna like trigger her. Like, I don't know if I'm still even invited because we haven't even had a conversation. We're not even speaking. And like, she knows when my birthday is because she has a notification set up. She gets a reminder that, hey, it's Brenda's birthday. Like, a lot of us do have on our phones. So she never reached out to me, never wished me happy birthday, never nothing. So I was like, I'm not gonna go, to the party because I don't know what I'm gonna be walking into. And she knows that it's my birthday. Like every year for the past, over a decade, she's wished me a happy birthday, sent me a text message, brought me a gift, taken me out, done something, whatever. And so it turned out that I couldn't go to the birthday party anyway because my husband had a death in the family. We had to go out of town for a funeral anyway. So I wouldn't have been able to make the party even if I wanted to go. But that would have been a reason I would have legitimately explained to her. So then one day I was like on my Instagram and I was like just going through my page and I was like looking and I was like, oh, she unfollowed me on Instagram and she unfriended me on Facebook. And I was like, "Oh,
Now, I'm going to say this, and that sucks. It really is. I don't even understand why the fallout happened
right.
only because you saw someone ask you a question and you told them it described what you have seen.
Right.
Anyways, but yeah, that's very odd.
Yep.
And how long was this friendship?
Um I want to say close to 17 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's odd. And
And
I don't know.
we've never fallen out before. We've never had a disagreement, never had an argument. We might go some time like without talking, just being busy with life and like work and kids and stuff, but we'd always get on the phone or send a text message or a meme and be like, "Oh, we have to get together." Or one of the memes that's like, "Oh, okay, girl, I'll see you in November, the third
Right.
Saturday in November," something like that, but we had never fallen out. Like it had never been like I'd never been in a situation where I unfollowed somebody on social media to cut them
Right.
off and not communicate with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have had a conversation and been like, this is how I feel, this is what bothers me, this is whatever, whatever. Like, are you upset that I didn't come to your party? Like, what are you upset about? You didn't reach out to me for my birthday and you knew it was my birthday. Because
And
you
that's
tell
really
you tell
sad.
me you tell me Siri tells me that hey, it's Brenda's birthday today, and you send me a message or call me or sing me a song and leave me a voice note, something, but
Right.
nothing. So once she ignored my birthday, I was like, I'm not going to that party. And then literally 2 days later, my husband had a death in the family, so we had to be out of town for
Sorry
that
to
for
hear
the
that.
party anyway. But yeah, so
I mean,
that
that is really sad. And I just want to say, um, you can call me petty, but if you're my friend and you're on social media and I'm supporting you and you're not supporting anything that I'm doing on social media, yes, I'm unfriending you
yep.
because you're taking up space. And listen, call me petty if you want to, but yes, um, I'm gonna give, strangers an opportunity to come in because honestly speaking, those are the people that are going to support you. And basically on what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go, yes, I want, people who is actually here, especially if you're my friend, like I'm really gonna be questioning you know, like why are they just page watching or what? And a lot of people do that, and it's sad,
Yeah.
but they do, and
Yeah.
they'll never support you. until you get up there and you do the damn thing, and now everybody's like, "Do you remember me? Do you remember me,
Right.
girl?"
Like, hey, girl, hey, it's been a
Like,
minute.
"Hey,
We
girl,
haven't had a
hey."
conversation. Like, no, girl, we haven't talked at all. It's been 5 years. Like,
Exactly.
now you're coming
So
out of the now you're coming out of the woodwork. So, for me, it was just like a lesson in like, okay, I've been nothing but supportive. I've never disrespected you. It's not like we're the type of friends that fall out and
yeah,
get back together and fall out and get back together and we have constant disagreements and arguments and whatnot. We've not fallen out not one time. Like not one time have we been upset with one another. So I was like, to her, saying to her, I was like, this is a really weird space for me to be in with you because I've never, experienced this with you before. So it's just
well, it
very
happens.
weird.
It happens even with family.
Yeah.
It happens with family too, not just friends. I know that in my family, even though, my brother and my sister have had fallouts and not speak to each other for months, but that's why I want to say this. Let me go to this. I know we are constantly growing as well as drifting away from friends. That is very possible as well sometimes. But that doesn't mean you should stop being someone's friend, especially if you have those years in with someone.
Right.
I never will. Um, Advise someone, oh, you need to stop being friends with that person. I'll never do that, first of all. And when it's that many years, you need to work it out.
And the thing for me
And
too, I was,
the crazy part about it is accountability. I think people
yeah.
nowadays struggle with that.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I'm like, does she think that, because she's made all these changes and she's got like, a different life than what she had when I met her? Like, does she feel like she's outgrown me? Does she feel like I'm part of her past because I knew her when she was married to somebody else? Now she's in this new relationship and, has a new baby on the way and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, but I've always been there to support all of your changes and all of your growth and like been there for you with, with all of it. So like I, don't understand. Like I've gotten, Christmas presents for your kids. Like we had our kids do a Christmas, together several times and like we've exchanged gifts. When I got really sick like a couple of years ago, I had all these missed text messages from her like you're not answering your phone. What's going on? You're not on social media. She was like, I'm gonna have my husband like reach out to your husband to see what's going on and like make sure that you're okay. So it was just like I don't, I really don't understand like what happened. I really, really don't understand what happened and like where I went wrong. And like the only thing that I can think is that,
Well,
she
I really hope you all can fix this.
I mean, I hope so too. I
Because
I
I mean, friendship is like more than just, supporting each other as well. It's like you have to have like a mutual trust between each other, communicate, be respectful to each other. I mean, so it's a lot of things that, go into it as well. And
yeah,
accountability. I feel like accountability is a big one. And I'm guilty of that in the past where I'll probably get in my feelings and um, don't think I should apologize, which I'm better with that now because I'm more about love. So I
yeah,
feel like now that I have opened my heart to just love, I don't really like to hold any grudges against people.
yeah,
I feel that that is, just crazy. You just building up all, hatred in your heart and all type of stuff that's not going to make you feel better. So I really don't grasp onto those things. And a lot of friendships fallouts are because someone is lacking accountability or either both parties are lacking accountability.
But I mean, for whatever I've done, like however she may have been upset or ever she may have been offended, I granted several apologies times over and was like, that is not my intention. Like, me. I would never would I, want to do anything to upset you. And if I upset you by saying congratulations, like I'm so sorry, that is not what I meant. I was genuinely and truly happy for you. But, I had a conversation with my mom over the weekend because we have some family stuff that's going on, not between me and my mom, but my sister and her family and my mom. And my mom was like, you know what? She was like, I'm fine with being the villain in this story. If that's what it takes, then I'm fine with it. I'll take it because I know how much I've supported. I know how much I've done. I know how much I've been there. I know what I've done, and I've done the right thing. So when she said that to me, that really struck a chord. And I was like, you know what? If I have to be the villain in this story because I congratulated you on your pregnancy and I found out about it before you were able to post it to the world on social media, and the fact that you want to post it to the world on social media and not tell your friend first, well, that tells me something about our friendship. I mean, yeah, I can understand wanting to have a special moment, but I've been there for all of your other special moments. Like what makes this one so different? So if I'm going to be the villain in this story, then I'll be the villain in this story. And yes,
I feel like in this story, communication is the issue.
she
That
won't communicate.
I
She won't
feel
she
like
won't she won't
exactly.
communicate.
That's why I
She
said that.
she won't communicate. So I mean, if you unfollow me, I'm gonna unfollow you, and that's not my typical thing. Like when I saw that she unfollowed me, I did not immediately unfollow her. I just was like, I'm just gonna let her like have her moment. If she's mad, like maybe she'll get past it, whatever, whatever. But after weeks and weeks went by and time went by, I was like, okay, like this is not going to change. Like if I'm still
Well, just
following
because
her.
you unfollow someone, that doesn't mean they don't love you,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that
And
doesn't
I was
mean
like, let me go ahead and unfollow because I don't want her to think that I'm just trying to stalk her page and like make her feel more uncomfortable. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just unfollow, and we'll revisit that whole conversation if it ever gets to that point, when it comes up again. But I didn't want her to think that I was just trying to stay on her page just to be keeping an eye on her business, because if that's what she thought from the get-go, that's completely wrong because that wasn't it at all.
Well, hopefully, you two will be able to work this out. I mean, I was just about to say, and I don't know if I should say it now, but I was going to say that we as people sometimes we fall out about stupid stuff.
Yes.
And I mean, it really and truly, like if you listen to some of the reasons, it's like, oh my gosh, like what happened?
Right.
Like, who's gonna be the grown up here? Um, and and some people just don't come back around. And they only care about themselves, and it's okay. Work on yourself and check on yourself first, because then you'll be able to figure out what went wrong. We're so focused on the other person, but sometimes we do have to look within ourselves. Most people, some people, I would say some people end up by themselves because they don't value friendship. Some friendships begin when you're not the best version of
Of
yourself.
yourself. Yeah, that's
I
true.
was I was such a people pleaser,
Yeah.
and I realized that it kind of faded.
Yeah.
Some of my friendships, like, and relationships as well, faded because I was very invested in pleasing people in my younger years. So as I grew older, I started to understand that that was my problem. And everybody, have a different issue, but that was one of mine. But some of the fallouts happen naturally, in friendships that I've had. I don't force friendships, okay?
Right.
I really don't.
Right. Like
But I
I'm not begging for friends, and it's like I'm not going to beg you to, to be my friend. Like I've
exactly.
reached out numerous times. I've offered numerous apologies, and it's like it's at that point where it's just like I've just got to let it go, and it's just going to have to, it's just going to have to play itself out. Whatever course it's meant to take, that's what's going to have to happen because I've done all I can do at this point. It takes two people to
Absolutely.
communicate. It takes two people to have a conversation. You can't have a conversation by yourself. You can't control the narrative by yourself. And without her feedback and without her input, I don't know which way to navigate the ship. All I know is I'm getting radio silence and I can't do anything with that. I can't do
I
anything with that.
understand. And, like I said, I don't force friendship, so I wouldn't tell you to force it either. Um, I just learned something valuable in every friendship or relationship that I done had. So I pretty much just learn from them and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And in today's show, um, I'll apologize to all my friends or ex partners, if we had any fallouts, because at the end of the day, it definitely has made me a better person. So I do want to say that on live today.
Oh, that's so big of you. It's so grown.
Yes, ma'am, because at the end of the day, like I said, forcing relationships is definitely not something that I can control.
Right.
But what I can control is me being a better person each day. And like I posted on my Facebook today, the only person I'm competing with is myself
There you go.
because I need to be able to and see the actual metrics of how I'm becoming a better person.
Right. Your
That's
growth.
it. That's all.
You're measuring your growth and you're not comparing yourself to somebody else's because you and another person are not the same. You and I are not the same. Your goals and accolades and contributions and things that you want to do within this world don't necessarily line up with what someone else wants to do. So yes, that's a perfectly set statement. The only person that you're in competition with is yourself.
That's the only person that I'm trying to be better than yesterday. The things that I used to do didn't fit anymore in my
Yeah.
life. So that is when some of them said I became a different Dominique. But well, it's not Dominique, it's Dominic. I mess with y'all about that. But yes. So yes, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, some people have expressed that to me, that I became a different Dominic. And I said, well, this Dominic became different for the better. And some friends last forever, some don't. Some partners last forever, some don't. Um, but don't put too much of an emphasis on it. Um, when I stopped giving so much, I became different to people.
Right, right, right,
So
right. Because as you said previously, you were a people pleaser. So people were expecting you to always be the one that was giving and giving and giving and giving. And they never had to put forth much effort because you were always there, willing and able to do it. Once you remove that out of that out of the equation, then they're left to have to contribute, have to put in some work, have to make strides towards maintaining the relationship. And some people just aren't built for that. They don't want those types of scenarios. They want to put as forth as little effort as possible. And when you're no longer giving them what they're used to receiving, then you serve them no purpose. And then the friendship just falls out and it fades out, or the relationship falls out and it fades out. And that's just the natural progression. I mean, it's not just one person that's responsible for maintaining relationships and maintaining a friendship. I mean, it is a two-way street. It takes two people to communicate. You know, we're adults here, we're not children, we're not teenagers, we are grown. You know, at this big age, we should be able to identify and be able to communicate and explain, hey, this is bothering me. Hey, I'm upset about this. Hey, this made me feel a certain type of way. Hey, I don't like that this happened. Whatever the case may be, you need to be able to communicate and express those things because the other person's not a mind reader and they don't know. And if you don't tell them and then you're just holding resentment towards them because you've been too afraid to communicate your thoughts and your feelings, well, then that's your accountability. You have to take accountability for that. They can't read your mind, although they should be grown enough to know, like, well, hey, like, what's going on with you? Like, hey, like, what's wrong? Hey, is everything okay? But it doesn't always work that way. And that's just something that I've learned throughout the years and my different scenarios of fallouts. And I mean, this was the most recent one, so of course it's, you know, only a couple of months old, so it's still new and kind of painful because it's something completely unexpected. This isn't, I never expected that I would ever be in this place with this person, but you know, here we are. But you know, in the past, I did have a falling out with someone, and it really was that this person was basically utilizing everything that I was possibly offering them. Like they needed help with this, I would help them with this. They needed help with that, I would help them with that. Their car broke down and they needed a way to get to work. I had another car, I let them borrow my car. I mean, I just did so much for this person that finally, when I was just like, okay, like enough is enough. Like, when are you gonna put your plan in motion to like get yourself back on track? It's been 6 months now, honey. You know, that was like, oh my gosh, like how dare you
You're
ask me
such
when
a
I'm gonna get
wonderful
my life on
friend.
track?
You're definitely a wonderful friend. So if they don't come back around, they are missing out. I'll tell them that.
Oh, well, thank you. I
And I
appreciate it.
did wanted to ask you this question. Have you ever had a friend to gaslight you?
Yes, yes,
Like
yes.
everything is cool, then something happens,
Yep,
then you go to your friend and try to ask, well, what's wrong?
yep,
But your friend says, oh, nothing.
yep.
Then from that moment on is the funny energy.
It's a funny energy. It's just a weird vibe, and you're like, what is going
Is
on
that
here?
is that a deal breaker for you or not? Would you stop being friends with that person at the moment?
I think I'm a backup away. I'm a backup off that situation because, you know, gaslighting is, it falls into that whole like narcissistic quality of people, of personalities that I don't vibe with that.
We're
I
not
don't
gonna
vibe.
say narcissist people. We're just gonna say a trait.
A trait, okay, a narcissist trait. That's a trait that I don't vibe with. That my personality does not mesh well with. It does not get along with well at all. And I don't appreciate it. I think that gaslighting is just it's a terrible thing. I just think that it's so passive aggressive. Like if you feel a certain way about something, then just come out and say you feel a certain way about something. Like don't pretend that it's one thing that and it's something else. Don't try to like blow it up and make it seem like, you know, well, this happened because you XYZ blah 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 and you know this whatever. Don't do that. Just don't do that.
I feel like partners do that too, though. Like all
They
of a
do. They
sudden, if
partners do.
something, yeah.
That partners do that, and that's a huge problem. That's a huge problem in relationships is the gaslighting. And you know, it's a relatively new term. I mean, we didn't know about gaslighting, you know, 10 years ago. I don't even think we knew about gaslighting 5 years ago. It's very recent, you know, but now that we know what
Because
it
a lot of
is,
people are doing it if they don't
we
even they. I don't even think they realize what they're doing.
I don't think
But,
they realize that they're what they're doing either.
well,
I,
some
I think
people, I'm saying
some of
some
them
people.
do. I think some of them do, but I think the vast majority of people just don't know that they're doing it because they feel like it's just such a normal thing. But it's not normal. It's not normal,
This is the
and
same way as partners or friends, being your friend like behind the scenes, but when they go like in front of people or in social media, it's like they act like, oh, who is that? Or I don't have anybody.
right, right. Exactly.
And friends do that too.
Yeah.
Like they'll make pretend they're your friend like behind the scenes. But when it comes to like being around other people and stuff like that, they start acting funny and shit. I don't like that.
I
I
don't
really
like that
don't.
either. Yeah,
Like
I
if you're gonna
just
be a certain way with me, be like that with me behind closed doors in the public too. Like don't do that to me because that would definitely push me away from somebody. And I'll just be like, I'm just gonna be real. I'll be like, fuck it, like
yeah, yeah.
bye.
And that's where I'm at with it, you know, like I was in you know, a state of like turmoil and like severe like disappointment, and you know, there was hints of like sadness there and like a mourning because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that this happened. But you know, after I had the conversation with my mom and she was like, you know what, I'm fine with being the villain in this story. I'll be the villain in this story because I
You're
know
not
all the
the
good.
villain
I
on the
know
in
that
the
I know all the
story.
good that I've done. So I know all the good that I've done. I know what a good friend that I've been. I know that I've been there. I know that I've supported. I know that I've showed up for your kids. I know I've come to see them play soccer. I know that I've come to different things that they had going on in school. I know I watched them graduate pre-K. You know, I know I've been there for all of that. So not to try to, you know, pat myself on the back, but looking back through it all, like
That's what
those are the
friends
things
do.
that you should remember when you're thinking about something. And if you think that I've done something questionable, then think about my overall behavior. Does she always act in a questionable factor, or is this one kind of situation where I might be just misreading or misinterpreting the situation or the scenario? But you didn't even give me that chance. So because of
Everything
that,
that you're naming that you did is practically just part of being a friend.
mm-hmm,
So, I mean, you did everything you were supposed to do as a friend.
yep.
And you should feel very proud of yourself that you actually showed up for your friend because a lot of people out here don't show up for your so called friend.
And I'm
Um,
not even looking for, you know, for accolades for showing up. I mean, I do what I do for the people that I care about you. Like if I care about you, then I care about you, and I'm going to do for you whatever I can to do for you, to give you that support and to give you that love. And and
I'm
I'm
not
not
letting you go nowhere. I'm about to call you and say, Brenda, come here. We need to have a conversation. Cause
I
listen,
know, I know you will. You be calling me, you be like, what you doing? I'm like,
we
I'm
could
at
both
work.
get mad on the
I'm like,
phone,
I'm
honey,
at
but we
work.
gonna
What you
have
got?
this conversation.
Like I'm at work. What you got going on? You're like, let me ask you this question. You got,
We gon' we gon'
I got this scratch. What does this mean? I'm like,
yes.
Well, guys, I don't think my voice can take much more. I'm so sorry, but it's starting to get sounding a little crazy. Me trying to talk still. But I am glad we had a chance to kind of dissect the conversation a little bit and talk about it and get some feedback on it. You guys rewatch the show once we post it in the chat and put your comments, and you can share your stories. If you ever fallen out with a friend, did you guys wind up back being friends? What was the outcome? What was the situation? I didn't see anything posted during this one, so I didn't have anything to respond to. But maybe y'all just can't understand me because my voice is just not what y'all are used to hearing.
That's right. And we're going to leave with this today, but I also want to just mention to stay tuned for Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live on YouTube and, of course, probably on Facebook as well. And we will have a guest in the building, which is D Bland. And we hope to see you all on Tuesday. Make sure you tune in. He's a independent artist, so we will be interviewing him the first part of our podcast. And on the second part of our podcast, we will be talking about dating people who are in the public eye. Yes,
Ooh.
I'm going to be talking about this. And let me give y'all a little bit right now because it's not just celebrities now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We have the like it really has expanded to influencers, content creators, business owners. And the reason I say business owners, entrepreneurs, because they're online as well.
Yep.
And you know, you when you're marketing your business, you got to put yourself out there. So how is that life going for you? We're gonna
Well,
talk about it
we
because
definitely gonna get into it.
right now social media is the center of the public eye. You're putting yourself out there, everybody is watching you. Um, I mean, some people like I just be like, I'm just getting started. Like, don't
Yes.
put too much pressure on me now.
Right, right, right.
All right, y'all.
All right,
Y'all have a
everybody.
good
Thank
night
y'all for
and peace
tuning
out.
in. I'm so sorry about the voice. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit better by Tuesday. Say a prayer for me. I'm going to keep drinking this tea and this honey and lemon, try to get this thing right. But tune in on Tuesday. We got another live episode coming for you. Thanks, y'all. Good night.
Good night.